Hi, this is Les-Levine, the self-proclaimed voice of truth and reason in Ohio sports. Baker-Mayfield was not my choice with that #1 pick 2 drafts ago. Truth be told, I wanted the Browns to take Josh Rosen, but that's another story for another day. But I do like Mayfield now and what I've seen of him and just about everything about him until today. Leading a Browns team that is now 2-4 into New England, standing by ripping the NFL officials and said they're not doing their job. To me, not throwing 11 interceptions would be an example of somebody not doing his job. If you'd improve on that, the referees, the opponents, and your teammates might be able to do their jobs even better. The season's not over yet, but if Baker-Mayfield doesn't play better and soon, it'll be getting ready to end sooner than any of us thought. The D-man Dennis-Manoloff is with us. More Sports and Les-Levine is on the air. From the worldwide headquarters of More Sports and Les-Levine, it's a Wednesday night. Good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to More Sports and Les-Levine into our 24th consecutive seasons exclusively here on cleveland.com. The D-man, Dennis-Manoloff, is here, and one of the reasons I like being with the D-man on the air is sometimes we prepare, sometimes we don't, and both are good, but you always have something wild to come up with. So give me your thoughts on the World Series, getting ready for Game 2 tonight.
A tremendous start to the World Series. Game 1 goes to the Nationals in Houston last night. Nationals rough up Garrett Cole, which seemed impossible. I pray for baseball's sake that this series goes the distance because it would be great. It would be great for the game. I really like the Nationals, I got to say. I said I liked the Astros a bit because of Brantley.
Right.
But there's so much swirling around the Astros that
they get stupider and stupider.
Yeah, that they're really hard to like. They used to be lovable,
yeah.
and America's team.
Well, they got lovable
up.
players. I mean, Bregman and Altuve.
Yeah.
And some of those guys, Correa, they're terrific players.
But there's stuff going on with that organization and the way they do things that make you go, ugh. Meanwhile, the Nationals seem to me to be controversy-free, yeah. And a lot of guys that you like.
They're like the Indians. The makeup of the team is sort of like what the Indians want to be.
Sure, but I will say this: both teams finished with identical 93 and 69 records. It's why I say, though, Les, that not all 93 and 69s are alike, or not all 162s are alike. The Nationals look to me to be a better team than the Indians did, despite the record, and they're showing it in this postseason. Remember, they were, 4 or 5 outs away from being eliminated in the wild card game at home by the Brewers.
Absolutely.
And Juan Soto has the huge hit with the bases loaded. They win that, then they shock the Dodgers in the division series. And then they sweep the Cardinals in the NLCS.
The hit by Soto was not a fluke, obviously.
No, Juan Soto is a beast. And isn't it incredible, too? The Nationals' homegrown phenom, Bryce Harper, finally, prices himself, or finally is able to price himself out of the Nationals' plans, even though, from what we heard, the Nationals' offer was competitive with the Phillies. But he winds up going to the Phillies, 13 years, $330 million. First season after he leaves, Juan Soto, the 20-year-old, in his second full year, is dominant, and here we go again with a homegrown stud, and the Nationals are going to the series.
You can make an argument that Harper might have cost a job for his manager.
Yeah, I mean, this is year 2 of Davey Martinez. I wouldn't put that on Harper. I do think it's interesting, though.
I'm talking about Kapler.
Oh, you're talking about Kapler.
Yeah.
Okay, but except Harper's numbers were good enough. I mean, he played well enough that it's really hard to blame him for anything that happened to Kapler. It really was an organizational failure, a Phillies failure. Harper can actually say, hey, look at me, I didn't do all that poorly compared to the rest of the guys. But the Nationals are an amazing story here because of what do we always say, Les? Just get in.
Get in.
If you just get into the MLB
I hear
playoffs,
people say, no, you don't want to
something
do
can
it that
happen.
way. Say, you don't want to do it that way, but you do.
Wild card teams get into the World Series and they win it. It's happened in MLB.
No question about it. All right, a couple of things. A lot of stuff going on. Cavaliers will open up their season tonight in Orlando.
Yes.
LeBron James and his Lakers lost last night. That's always a good thing, right? Or don't you feel that way?
I wonder less anymore about how much, and I asked this on the WTM radio show I had last night after we did a Cavs preview, how much do Northeast Ohioans care anymore about what happens to LeBron and his team?
I don't think they care that much, but if given a choice, they'd rather see them lose. I don't think they go out of their way, but I don't think there's good feelings about it. But anyway, the Cavaliers will open tonight on the road at Orlando. This portion of More Sports and Les-Levine brought to you by the Ohio Lottery. Now, the Browns still talking about adding linemen, switching linemen around. I'm not sure what they're trying to prove. If they are, freddie-kitchens said he sort of tried to make it seem like the media was causing a controversy. That's a low-hanging fruit. So if they make a change, they make a change, right?
Yeah, I just don't think it's going to matter come Sunday when the Browns have to go to Belichick and Brady. I mean, we haven't spoken since the Patriots humiliated the New York Jets, and specifically Sam Darnold, who was mic'd up and quoted as saying, I saw ghosts. And, of course, the Jets were outraged by the fact that NFL Films allowed that, or that somebody signed off on that
By the way, I agree with them.
Well, you agree why? Because
I don't think that should have been put out there. It made Darnold look bad.
Yeah.
Probably, do you think he even remembered that he was mic'd up?
Well, I hear you, but they know going in, though. I mean, they're supposed to know going in that this potentially could happen. And Darnold claims he's not embarrassed by it. He said after the day afterward, but there's no doubt his brand, if you will, took a major hit. Yeah. Belichick watched what happened when Darnold helped the Jets beat the Cowboys, and he probably said, I can't believe how few times the Cowboys blitzed this guy. So what did Belichick do? He dialed up all these different blitz packages, and Darnold had no idea what was coming.
All right, there is a lineman available, Nate Solder, who, of course, played with the Patriots. And here's the story. He was the 17th overall pick by the Patriots in 2011. Second year of a 4-year, $62 million contract. 5 sacks allowed, 4 penalties this season. And Greg Robinson with only 1 sack allowed. And 5 penalties this season. You want to go get him or you want to go get anybody?
Well, I mean, honestly, it looks like Dorsey is not happy with some of the things that are happening on this line. I don't know what it would take to get Solder. I was unaware until this show what you were talking about here. But, the Browns have been linked to trying to get Trent Williams, and here's Solder now.
Why don't they just forget that one? Drop out of that running.
Yeah,
there's nothing good that could come out of that.
And this deep into the season, a guy who hasn't played, you wonder how many weeks it's going to take him to get up to speed. Right. Even though he might claim that he's been in shape. So clearly, it's an unsettled offensive line. But I always do believe this, Les, about unless the offensive line is horrendous, which I don't think is the case here in Cleveland.
Well, they're good enough to block for Nick-Chubb.
It's too easy. You talk about low-hanging fruit. It's too easy to say the offensive line is the reason why the quarterback isn't playing well or the wide receivers aren't playing well or whatever. The Browns' issues begin with Baker-Mayfield. As you pointed out in your opening comment, he must play better, regardless of some of the holes that are being sprung by his line. It's not as if Mayfield is under siege. He's not being destroyed on every single snap before he can even look downfield. He needs to play better, period.
Sounds pretty simple to me. All right, so will the Browns make changes to their offensive line? You think there's something in the works here?
I mean, I would expect it to happen, but any changes you make before this upcoming game
it's a tough week
is probably
to change.
not going to matter. And I hear people say, well, Browns are coming off a bye. They're rested. They get some banged-up guys back in their secondary. potentially. Meanwhile, the Belichick and Brady are coming off of a Monday night game, but still,
and they're done
the Patriots look so good to me, especially their defense. I don't see how the Browns win the game on Sunday.
216-575-0403, which reminds me, how'd you do on your picks? I don't think I saw them because the Browns didn't play. Were your picks in the paper?
I mean, well, they are, and I'm laughing because I'm crying at the same time, or I'm laughing to cover up my tears.
Guy.
I'm really upset with myself. It's been a terrible season, my worst of 5. But I was telling Brian before the show, this is an example of what I've been up against this year. I picked a favorite on the road to beat an underdog, obviously, that had 1 win, and the underdog scored 0 points.
Which team?
And covered.
Which team?
The Redskins.
Oh.
I had the Niners minus
right?
9.5.
Right, and it was 9-0.
The Niners win 9-0. So the team I was up against scored 0 and still beat me.
2.
How's that possible?
These years happen.
Oh, and by the way, it was only because of a rainstorm and a soggy field. They weren't able to throw the ball, so they settled for 3 field goals, and I lose by the hook.
216-575-0403. The D-Man, Dennis-Manoloff with WTAM 1100 with us tonight, as he always is on Wednesday nights. So we'll find out if the Browns are interested in Solder. We'll find out if they're going to make some changes to their offensive line. And we can tell you that the Ohio Lottery has over $6.25 million paid out in Ohio Lottery pick games every week. With that amount of winning, you got to stop by your local retailer. Try your luck with the pick 3, pick 4, and pick 5 games from the Ohio Lottery. Coming up, Baker Mayfield responds to his fine. We'll check that out when we get back. More Sports and Les-Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
Presque Isle Downton Casino now has sports betting. Use one of the 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet. Then watch your favorite games on our new HD televisions or visit our new sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downton Casino.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
One, I wouldn't say it's complaining when it was blatantly obvious. I'd say that's just stating facts. But freedom of speech, I thought, it's okay, but I get fined for it. It's the league. That's what they do. They fine you for some ridiculous things. It's just how it is. But there's a reason everybody's talking about it. It's not just me. It goes for every team. And just with how our team is, we're not going to get a lot of calls, and we know that, especially going into this week. There's no time to worry about it, no time to stress about it. Just play our game.
Hey, when you said I'll probably get fined for this, was that like a throwaway line, or did you really think you would?
No, I knew I was going to get fined, but it needs to be said. People have to be held accountable for their job. When it affects my job, it sucks because it's not in my control.
All right. So if a guy says he knew he was going to get fined, either just pay the fine and don't say anything. If you know you're going to get fined, why would you say it?
Well, because he wanted it in the public record. And I will say this, Les, I know what you said about in your opening comment, but that crew in the Seattle-Cleveland game was lost. And the game was moving 10 miles an hour faster than that crew was moving. And you can't have that if you're the NFL. You can't have an entire crew that is completely baffled by what's happening on the field.
Well, you're 1,000% correct. But Baker Mayfield's not in a position yet to complain about it.
Right, that's exactly right. And you keep thinking about the team that you're going to play. I mean, you're not getting calls in Gillette Stadium. A 50-50 hold is not going your way, or a 50-50 PI is not going your way.
Hold on, I have a how come quickie. How come there's no point shaving scandals at Gillette Stadium?
That was very good.
Thank you. Excellent
job there. But Brady and Belichick are fascinating because you get the feeling that they're not lovey-dovey. Well, it's not. Shouldn't say get the feeling. You know they're not lovey-dovey. This is an uneasy truce, if you will. Over the years, it's kind of deteriorated to just, okay, we're going to do our jobs. But when the two of them get together, they're awesome to behold. And here's the thing. Brady and the offense aren't even clicking yet.
No. Well, but
this
they're playing,
offense is
yeah,
not.
but what is the record of the teams they've played?
They played pretty bad teams. Granted, they had a nice win at Buffalo, but it was a close game. Buffalo's only got one loss, but Buffalo's not a juggernaut.
Is there a part of you that would like to see Belichick or Brady not play a season not with each other? Just to see?
Well, yeah, I mean, Belichick would point to Castle. When Matt Castle came in to replace Brady, who tore up his knee, and that was the first game or the second game. And Castle, it might have been the first game. And Castle winds up winning 11 games. They didn't make the playoffs that year.
Right.
And then Castle cashed in with that ginormous contract with the Chiefs.
All right, just to show you how Belichick prepares, and we all know that he does.
Yes.
There was a conference call yesterday, which had to be, they flew back from the
Meadowlands.
The Meadowlands. And probably went to the facility immediately. So the players probably went home, and Bill was on a conference call with the Cleveland media. And when you do a conference call, you can know who's on the call. Let's say Jeff Shudell is checking in, so he's number 4. Mary Kay Cabot is number 7 or whatever. And Belichick knew everybody who was there, knew them by voice. I mean, he must have had a list of who was out there. But he also made sure that he said, well, Mary Kay, well, Tony, well, Jeff. That's just part of you don't see other coaches do that.
No.
Now, they may not have a reference point to Cleveland, but Belichick goes out of his way to do that.
I don't think Cleveland has ever left Belichick, and here's another reason I'm concerned about Sunday for the Browns. Remember when Garoppolo was traded to the 49ers?
Yep.
There's no doubt the Browns wanted in on that. And guess what Belichick said to the Browns?
Yeah.
Talk to the hand. I'm not even dealing with you guys. I think there's still lingering bitterness. And by the way, it should be directed at Art Modell more than anybody else because Modell fired him.
Not Cleveland.
But I think Belichick wants to stick it to Cleveland any chance he gets.
I agree with that. Have you ever talked to anybody from Santa Clara, California?
No, I have not.
Let's do it. Let's say hi to Bill in Santa Clara. Hello, Bill.
Hey, how you guys doing?
We're doing well. How about you? Well, I'm assuming, D-Man, how you doing?
Doing fine.
Yeah, he's doing, I guess, right.
Now that we got Bill.
Hey, so my question for you guys is about the quarterback coach, because it seems as though, as we all know, Mayfield has not looked the same this year as he did last year.
Right.
And I'm wondering if he's getting bad coaching because he seems to be throwing behind his receivers. I saw that even on some of the televised things they had on training camp.
Yeah. Hey, Bill, I don't think that throwing behind guys.
Though this has not been corrected.
Yeah, I don't think throwing behind guys is a matter of the quarterback coach. Do you, D-Man?
I agree. I don't want to disrespect Ryan Lindley and the other quarterback coaches out there, but to me, quarterback coaches in the NFL are overrated.
Why is that?
Well, because you either have the ability to make the plays. I mean, you tell me that I don't even know if Brady has a quarterback coach or Drew Brees or any of these guys. If you're going to be a really good quarterback, you essentially don't need a quarterback's coach, in my opinion.
Yeah, you do it by feel.
And here's the thing. Lindley said that Mayfield looks better now than he did at the beginning of the season.
I don't agree with
I'm
that.
not quite sure. Maybe he's trying to justify his existence.
Yeah, maybe.
And claim that he has, he's made progress with Mayfield. But I see the same things that, everybody else is seeing, that he's late with his passes. He's inaccurate.
Hey, Bill, my concern has been that in most of the games, I think 4 of the games, he was throwing off his back foot. That's a problem, and it's correctable. But I think that's something that concerns me more than some of the other things.
Yeah, thanks for addressing that issue. And I am from Cleveland, Cleveland Heights, and it's tough out here. The weather is too nice. So,
Bill,
anyway,
may I ask you a question?
You guys.
Even though I just did.
Anyway, hey, you guys do a great job.
Bill.
It's great listening to you. And,
Hold on, Bill.
keep
Bill,
it up.
hold
Bill,
on,
hang on.
Bill.
Hang on
Don't
one
go
second.
away.
You there?
Don't go away.
Yeah, I'm still here.
How close physically do you live to Levi Stadium?
I was thinking about going to the game, the Monday night game, and I decided to go to a Whole Foods, which is a mile away. So I was right there at Whole Foods, and the fans knew I was wearing my colors, and they didn't tease me or throw punches.
What, is there a watch party at Whole Foods?
As the Raiders did when we wore our colors into the Raiders Stadium years ago. And they were commiserating with me. So, because that wasn't one of the Browns' best games.
Is there a watch party at the Whole Foods?
Well, there were multiple. This was the Monday night game, and so Whole Foods has a sports bar. The one in Santa Clara has a sports bar attached to Whole Foods. So yeah, I was able to watch it there. I'm really glad I didn't pay, $200 to go to the stadium to watch them get their brains beat out.
We should get more Sports-and-Les-Levine broadcasting live from Whole Foods in Santa Clara. We'll get our people on that,
work
Bill.
on it.
Yeah, well, hey, if you guys are coming out, give me a call, and I'll be your guide.
Take the show.
And do we say first time?
Where all the good food is. So.
Yeah. Do we say first time caller?
Thanks, Bill.
All right, Bill. Great to talk to you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye-bye.
I got to tell you something. Say what you want about what we do, whether it's easy to do, hard to do. It's pretty cool when somebody from Santa Clara, California calls you to talk Cleveland sports.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? And, we know that St. Levi Stadium is in Santa Clara, and now we know that Whole Foods has a sports bar and a watch party.
Who knew? 216. Well, Odell Beckham had a watch party, game 1.
Oh, dear.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. Email us during the show at reallesslevine@gmail.com. Northeast Factory Direct, 3 great locations, east, west, and south. The south one is the new one on Freeway Drive in Macedonia. They've got it at West 140th Street in Cleveland. And the old B&B Appliance on Lakeland Boulevard, that's in Euclid. Northeast Factory Direct has an extensive selection of high-quality, semi-custom kitchen cabinets, and you'll save 60 to 70% compared to the big box stores. And theirs is a better, finer quality. And their designers are going to help you design your kitchen absolutely free. Just bring in your measurements. No gimmicks, no deceiving blowout sales, no typical retail nonsense. All great savings at northeastfactory.com. Northfield Park, your home for live and simulcast racing. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at 6 p.m. with the post time 6:40 on Saturday and Sunday, but they're open early every day for simulcast action, opening almost every day at noon. And they've got the weekly Sunday contest featuring Belmont Stakes. Top prize, $500 in cash each and every week. Free admission, free parking every day at Northfield Park. When we come back, we'll hear the velvet tones of Bill Belichick. More Sports and Les Levine exclusively on cleveland.com.
No other company or product can match the features, benefits, and warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor.
There was moisture in the basement. It ruined the carpeting. The smell was terrible. We didn't feel safe in our own basement, and that's when we called Nature Stone.
And with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your basement flooring again. Get Nature Stone installed by the end of October and save up to half off. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
Oh, gosh. Playing Ohio Lottery Pick 3, I see. What are you going to do? A box bed, a split pairs, or a wheel? Well, old Picky Ricky here is a straight shooter.
Okay.
It razzes my berries when newbies think betting's hard. Straight bets are easy peasy. Just match 3 numbers in order and win the old-fashioned way. This, on the other hand, is not so simple. Oh, God. Oh, jeez Louise. Play the Ohio Lottery Pick 3 today.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a line. A long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just a mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Jarvis-Landry on the field.
Yeah, they have a lot of good players, and you mentioned 2 of them. There's plenty of other ones too. The running back, the tight ends, and the other receivers, however that goes. Higgins to Callaway, you know. So, yeah, but again, they move their guys around some, so you don't always know where he is. But he's an explosive playmaker. Saw that in the Jets game and many other games. Acrobatic catches, good quickness, good after the catch. You know, can throw. He's had a couple passes as well. So he's a little bit of a threat to run with the ball or throw it if he gets behind a line of scrimmage. So I mean, he's a good player. They use him a lot of different ways, and you know, he's one of the many weapons they have. It's hard to just key on one guy because they have so many guys that can get you.
He needs to get some sleep. Bill, for his own good. So do you.
I'm the greatest coach of all time.
Well, he is.
I preside over one of the greatest franchises in the
I wish I had
NFL.
been to the conference call the other day, because I would have said, Bill, it's Les-Levine, and I just want to apologize for years when you were here. I didn't have many good things to say, and I'd like to apologize. You're the greatest coach of all time.
What are these things? What are these?
Cell phones.
Cell phones. What's the reason to have a cell phone? I'm just here to kill you guys.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. I understand you have a How Come Quickie.
I have a How Come Quickie.
You want
for
to do it
the
now
ages.
or later?
How come half and half is unavailable at Whole Foods?
Wow. Say hello.
Have some of that.
Say hello.
What do you think, voice of God?
Well, let's bring the voice of God, John Beilein, in.
That's a 9.5er.
Okay, now you actually looked up the Whole Foods location at Santa Clara. What did you find?
It's awesome.
It's incredible. I mean,
tell me about it.
Oh, it's got many TVs. It's a tap house, lots of seating. I'll bring out some pictures during the break.
Wow.
This is at Whole Foods?
In Santa Clara, yeah.
Whole Foods, call us for some advertising dollars. We're pimping you guys hard.
I can't even say quid pro quo.
Quid pro quo.
Yeah. 216-575-0403. You learn a lot on this show.
I mean, that was a revelation from Bill in
and an
Santa
excellent
Clara.
How Come Quickie out of the clear blue sky from you. Congratulations to you. Who's the key offensive weapon for the Browns? Is it Odell Beckham, Jarvis-Landry, or Nick-Chubb? Obviously, it's Baker-Mayfield.
I mean, to me, in 21st century NFL, it's got to be your quarterback. But to me, Chubb is second to that. Forget about the wide receivers being your primary options.
Here's Chubb, 114 carries, 607 rushing yards, 6 TDs, 20 receptions, 128 receiving yards. Did you see, by the way, that USA Today put out the list of 100 great football players of all time?
I did not.
Who do you think they picked as number 1? I'm not sure what criteria. No, Jim Brown was number 4.
4?
Otto Graham, I think, was 13, though.
Brady?
Brady was second. Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice.
Would you have put him first?
I mean, Rice is phenomenal, no doubt, but I always thought that the discussion began with Jim Brown.
Yeah, me too.
Not just running back, but greatest NFL player ever.
All right, let's look at Odell Beckham and what he's done so far as his offensive production is concerned. 29 receptions, 436 yards, just 1 touchdown, 72 yards per game. Is he the best weapon? Now let's go to his good buddy. That's Jarvis-Landry. Jarvis-Landry, 25 receptions, 439 yards, 0 touchdowns, 73 yards per game. There's no way I would have figured before this season started, without injuries to Beckham and to Landry, that they'd have 1 touchdown pass
Combined touchdown, and it was a TD where Beckham took the short pass and went to the house with it on the 80-plus yard reception. So it's not like they threw it into the end zone for the touchdown.
We are covering all of California. Let's go to Marin County across the bay from San Francisco. Hello, you're on the air. Go ahead. Who's this?
My name is Howard. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Howard.
Sorry, I have the dogs in the background, but I want to ask you.
I can hear them also.
Do you think John Dorsey's still a genius, or do you think, like I think, that he's really not all that great, and that maybe he only has a couple more years to go before they get rid of him?
I still have faith in Dorsey.
I do too. The genius tag doesn't have to be worn right now because he's made some mistakes out there, but for the most part, he's been very good.
Yeah, and as much as we want the Browns to win.
Wait, hold on.
I'm sorry.
Howard, your dogs are talking very well for dogs.
Yeah, it looks like we're breaking up, but
yeah, that's hard to do.
You got to solve the line first. Every great team.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Howard.
Turn your computer down if you can. Turn your computer down if you can. Or have one of the dogs do it. It's a little better. All right, we're going to have to let you go, Howard. Howard, we appreciate the call, but we can't do that.
It's tough to do. Here's the thing, though.
Call us again sometime.
I would say, I still trust John Dorsey. A lot of people still do. What we don't want to do in this town this year, given all the hype that preceded this team, was think that 2019 is a wash. It's not a wash yet.
No.
But if you're Dorsey and his crew, yes, you want to win in 2019. Yes, you believe you can still. But you also have a long view. And Dorsey, I don't think will ultimately
win this
be
year,
judged by just one year.
They didn't expect Baltimore to win against Seattle.
No, that was a problem, yes. I'm sure the Browns thought that the Ravens would be 4-3 instead of 5-2.
Josh Gordon probably going on the IR and probably maybe released. How about that?
Yeah, Dave Bacon was talking about it potentially. Who knows what's up with Gordon, but I guess there's some way you can activate a guy off of IR, but you have to release him in doing so.
So it's a money thing.
I don't think it's any. Well, I don't know about that. I don't think it's any coincidence that Mohamed Sanu was brought in from the Falcons in a trade. So.
Explore your interests. Find a program that puts you on the path to a bright future with Tri-C that offers 1,000 courses in over 140 career and technical programs. Go to tric.edu to find out more information. When we come back, we'll talk a little Buckeye football. How about the field goal by Purdue at the buzzer or at the gun moved Wisconsin down from number 6 to number 13?
What do you mean? I don't get it.
Purdue beats Wisconsin. If they don't beat Wisconsin,
Illinois.
I said Purdue. I'm very sorry.
Illinois. No, that's why I was confused. Yeah, the Illinois field goal at the buzzer, yes.
Moved Wisconsin down from 13 to 6, or from 6 to 13.
They should have been dropped even further. It's unfortunate for Ohio State's
30-point favorite.
What a disgrace by the whole coaching staff. Should have quit right then and there. That was a disgrace against a terrible Illinois team.
Let's take a break. We'll come on back. The D-Man, Dennis-manoloff, WTAM 1100 with us. More Sports and Les-Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
As a kid growing up, my dream was to go to college, play baseball, and get a degree. Coming out of high school, I had 2 choices. I was accepted into a 4-year university, but I decided to come to Tri-C after receiving a scholarship. I got my associate's degree at Tri-C, they transferred all my credits straight into Baldwin-Wallace, so I started at Baldwin-Wallace University as a junior. My name is Tyler Leonard, and I earned my first degree at Tri-C.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family cool this summer,
let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant. Whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes Smiley One Heating and Cooling. Find them at 440-449-HEAT.
Of More Sports and Les-Levine, brought to you by Northeast Factory Direct. You get some great How Come cookies coming up a little bit later. John Heisman never won the Heisman Trophy. Born in Ohio City, Cleveland's own. Vern Stevens was a first baseman in the American League. Jim Bunning won over 100 games in both leagues. Ella Funt, Doug Flutie, Nick Bosa. This is a good birthday day. Nick Bosa is tremendous. Listen, I'm an Ohio State guy. I graduated from there. I'm a political scientist, but I loved what he did against the Browns. Go out and play better if you don't like it.
Yeah.
Right?
The Bosa brothers are, when they're healthy together, they're something else.
This day in sports history, October 23rd, 2011, Tim Tebow, quarterback, rallies the Broncos for 2 touchdowns in the final 7 minutes to force an overtime against the Dolphins. A field goal wins it in overtime for Denver. Remember that game?
I don't remember that game. I remember, though, Tebow to Demaryius Thomas in overtime to beat the Steelers. Just stunning to me that the Broncos beat the Steelers, even though it was in Mile High, in a playoff game.
I have not heard anything about Tebow playing baseball this year. Did he play?
Yeah, he did. He wasn't very good. And here's the thing: I had Travis Hafner on one of my radio shows in the wake of Hafner's 330-foot bomb that he hit in the Celebrity All-Star softball game.
Right.
And I said to Pronk, have you ever watched Tim Tebow's swing mechanics? You'd swear you were watching the same guy, the same
Hafner?
build. Yeah.
Huh.
And Hafner said it had been mentioned to him by others that Tebow had a similar approach to the ball. And obviously, Tebow's not even close to what Travis Hafner was as a player. He was injured late. I don't know if the baseball career is over.
They didn't bring him up at the end of September.
Oh, no, he was horrendous. Wherever
August.
it was, double or triple A, he was terrible. But he's doing his usual college analyst stuff
All right,
in the fall.
So you said that people are coming up to you and telling you certain things. More people in the last 3 weeks have told me they think this is the best all-around Ohio State football team ever. It's combination of offense and defense.
It's hard to argue. Who would have ever thought, Les, that for as much impact as Urban Meyer had on the Ohio State Buckeyes, that
they just changed in midstream.
You barely mention his name unless you force somebody to respond to it. Not that he's a bad guy or anything. It's not that they're trying to bury the Urban Meyer era, but Ryan Day is so good at what he's doing that you don't even think like, oh, back in the Urban Meyer days.
And you also have to put some credence to Urban Meyer getting blown out by bad teams twice.
It hasn't happened today yet. And by the way, Day's undefeated. You add his 3 victories when he subbed for Herb last year. But
he was given a pretty full house.
I mean, Ryan Day's Buckeyes are phenomenal. And again, I'm not trying to take anything away from Herb. Awesome, legendary tenure at Ohio State. It's just that you don't sit there and go, oh boy, the Urban Meyer days at Ohio State were just as preferable.
I emceed the Cleveland Hall of Fame dinner a couple of weeks ago with Urban Meyer there, And I got to tell you something. If you didn't know that there was a bad side to him or people perceived there's a bad thing, you'd never know. He came across, he was great, couldn't have been more gracious. And I'm saying, is this the guy that we've heard legendary stuff about?
Yeah, I've always heard, good things about Herb away from the field, and how he is relaxed. But here's the thing, too. You have Herb, is he going to be impatient after 1 year of doing his Fox stuff? Because you see him on the college football set with Reggie Bush and Leinart and those guys. Okay.
And
then
Leinart may be pushing a little bit for Southern Cal. Maybe.
You would think that if Southern Cal was a name, or he was linked to Southern Cal if things went completely off the rails for Clay Helton.
Right,
there are other landing spots that wouldn't interfere with Ohio State.
Let's take a look at some of the key players to Ohio State's successful season, obviously offensively and defensively. And there you have it, offensively. Look
That's
at these
where it
numbers.
starts.
Look at these numbers.
And almost where it ends, if not for J.K. Dobbins.
116 out of, well, he's got some wide receivers. 116 out of 164, almost 71% completions. Almost 1492. Columbus sailed the blue. 22 touchdowns, only one interception.
Remember that, Ryan Day? We're not sure who's going to be the quarterback yet. There's a competition out there.
How about the fact he had Burrow there 2 years ago? How about this guy could be the Heisman Trophy winner?
Yeah.
All right, Chase Young. How about this guy? Look at this hair.
He's incredible.
23 tackles, 10.5 sacks for tackles for loss, 9.5 sacks. Tied for first in the NCAA, and 3 fumbles forced.
As the saying goes, he's going to play on Sundays.
He's going to play on
look
Sundays.
good doing it.
All right, how about this? Wisconsin and Ohio State getting ready. It's a noon game on Saturday. And let's take a look at between the teams, the comparison offensively. Wisconsin 39.7 points per game. Ohio State 49.7. 443 yards per game. Ohio State, look at that number. 546. Wow, 208 passing yardage per game. That's for Wisconsin. And Ohio State at 239. Look at that. That is incredible. Ohio State 287 yards rushing, 235 for Wisconsin. Absolutely amazing.
I don't think it's going to be a blowout in the classic sense, but it'll be a comfortable victory for Ohio State.
It'll be a win in the classic sense?
I mean, it won't be a nail-biter is what I'm saying.
Penn State coming in a couple weeks later, it's a
Penn
scary
State
thought.
makes me nervous a little bit, but here's the thing, though. These teams like Ohio State, Oklahoma, they recognize that quality of victories matters with the committee. It's not just that you win, you have to win decisively. You can't barely squeak by a bad team.
You got it. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. We're going to take a look at the Cavs and Les-Levine history and a how come quickie. Then we'll go over some of the quickies that you have sent in, and it's a pretty good batch. I can tell you that right now. Let's take a break. We'll come on back in a moment. More Sports and Les-Levine continues. Northeast Ohio, Northeast Factory Direct, 3 great locations, east, west, and south. The south one is the one in Macedonia. That's the new one. 3 bargain-sized stores, but there are no gimmicks, no deceiving blowout sales. Alex spends about 1/10 what the big market or the big box stores pay in rent, and he passes the savings on to you. Believe it or not, he's been in business 20 years. If you haven't seen him or heard about him, where have you been? It's the best place to shop for furniture anywhere in northeastern Ohio, or on the website northeastfactorydirect.com. We'll take a break. We'll come on back in a moment. Sokolowski's University Inn. They've got one more Saturday of the big clam bake. It's been going on every Saturday in October, 4 to 9 p.m. And it includes chicken and the prime New York strip steak, a dozen clams, clam broth, clam chowder, baked candied yams, red-skinned potatoes, sweet corn. D-Man, you getting hungry?
Yes.
Garlic toast, pumpkin or apple pie. All from Mike and Bernie Sokolowski's University Inn. Call 216-771-9236 for more information. That's on Saturday night, one more Saturday night in the month of October. Now we'll come back in a moment. Brought to you exclusively by, well, there's where the voice of God comes from. More Sports and Les-Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
No other company or product can match the features, benefits, and warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor.
I had an epoxy-based sand paint on my floor that deteriorated, and that's why I called Nature Stone.
Why paint? It's expensive, it's ugly, and it doesn't last. Nature's Stone is always affordable. It's beautiful, and with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your garage floor again. Get Nature's Stone installed by the end of October and save up to half off. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature's Stone.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a line. A long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just a mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Presque Isle Downton Casino now has sports betting. Use one of the 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet. Then, watch your favorite games on our new HD televisions or visit our new sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downton Casino.
I don't like to tease this, but you got to stick around for the How Come Quickies. There's some beauties in there. Les-Levine history, October 23rd, 1958. Les fulfills his election promise as student council president to create more jobs by telling people to miss the garbage can when they throw it in after lunch. That way everybody stayed busy until lunch was over. Got to keep people working. It's America. Let's check out a How Come Quickie. D-Man, how come if there's an elephant in the room, nobody's allowed to talk about it?
That's a good one.
I got to admit, that was my son-in-law. After doing the show for 24 years, he finally came up with a How Come Quickie. 8.5. That is not bad. All right, name. Oh, you did a Cavs preview show, so you know the names. Most of the people I know couldn't name 8 guys on the Cavaliers.
I mean, you still got Thompson, you still have Love, Sexton, Garland, Windler's hurt, Porter Jr., and you got...
Somehow they got to whittle it down to 9 guys who play.
Zizic is hurt, but Sexton, you've got Clarkson and Nance Jr.
All right, let's take a look at the roster. There you go. Jordan Clarkson, Tyler Cook.
Brandon Knight.
Della Vedova's still with the team. Garland, Henson.
I like Alfonso McKinney as a pickup.
Didn't Henson do the Muppets?
Off waivers, there you go.
John Henson, Brandon Knight, Kevin Love, Alonzo McKinney, Larry Nance Jr., Chetty Osmond, Kevin Porter Jr., Colin Sexton, Tristan Thompson, Dean Wade, as well as Dylan Windler, as you mentioned, and Ante Zizic. All right, so what do you consider, first of all, how many wins you want to ascribe to this team?
I mean, the places I looked, it's anywhere from 18, 19 to 24, 25. My prediction last night on the Cavs preview show on WTAM was 24 and 58. You need to make sure if you're the Cavs that you're not outside the top 10 or in the lottery, because then it's no longer lottery protected and the Atlanta Hawks get it. So it behooves the Cavs to lose this year.
By the way, Paul Hines will be here tomorrow. I'll be on radio 92.3 The Fan on Friday from 10 until 2 with Andy Baskin on that one. So what do you consider a successful season? It's not going to be wins because they're not going to make the playoffs. What do you want to see out of this team?
Well, you need to see individual pieces, parts grow as NBA players. You also would like to see John-Beilein's system, both offensive and defensive, begin to take hold so you can have an identity for the team. But really, you know what the NBA is about. It's about individual talent being better than somebody else's individual talent. So you want to see Sexton continue to improve, and he sounds like a young leader, a guy who has learned a lot and has a lot of excitement ahead of him.
Is one of the goals to get Kevin Love to have a good year, stay healthy, and then trade him at the trade deadline?
Yeah, that's entirely possible. I would think Beilein this year would like to have Love as a safety valve or a security blanket.
Right.
But if he's playing well enough and he's proven to be durable up to the trade deadline, then of course you look to move him.
All right, here's our Facebook question of the day. How many wins do you predict for the Cavaliers? Andy Mees says if Love and Tristan Thompson stay healthy the majority of the season, they could win 30. Otherwise, they'll be lucky to end up with twice as many wins as the Browns have. Aaron Wood says, I think they'll go 23-65, a very young team. The key is everybody needs to stay healthy.
23-65.
That's not possible.
That's
88 games.
Some postseason games that we're unaware of?
I'm not responsible for editing
all right,
these.
that's all right.
Rick May, 18 wins. Cavs are a young team with a coach with no NBA experience. And inevitably Kevin Love will be traded. Lots of growing pains. Wayne Richard Lyons, 2 predictions. If Love stays healthy and not traded, 30-32 wins. If he's hurt or traded, and early in the season, 20 wins would be the tops. Larry Pantages says the year after Ted Stepien's ownership, even with a veteran ABA and NBA coach in Tom Nasalki, 23 wins was all they could get. None of those players were just 1 year out of high school. Welcome Coach Beilein to 23 wins in 82 days of Tums, Rolaids, and Pepto-Bismol.
Love Larry.
Jay Slagle, slightly better than Bluto's GPA from Animal House. That would be 0.0 if my mathematics is
it's going to
concerned.
be, the Cavs are not going to set the world on fire record-wise.
Northfield Park is your home for live and simulcast racing Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. They've got it with the post time at 6 p.m. 6:40 is the post time on Saturday and Sunday. Open every day for simulcast action and a weekly Sunday contest featuring Belmont. Top prize $500 per week. That's all at Northfield Park, where it's free admission, free parking every day. We'll come back with How Come Quickies, and we'll finish up stuff with the D-Man, Dennis-Manoloff of WTAM. More Sports and Les-Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
No other company or product can match the features, benefits, and warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor.
There was moisture in the basement. It ruined the carpeting. The smell was terrible. We didn't feel safe in our own basement, and that's when we called Nature Stone.
And with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your basement flooring again. Get Nature Stone installed by the end of October and save up to half off. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to OhioLottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students, kindergarten through 12th grade, can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
Tomorrow night, Hoynesy will be here. Paul Hoynes, who last week had one of his classic, of all the years that we've done this, one of his classic rants. If you can archive it, find it on cleveland.com. And if not, you'll get another one tomorrow night. We do this live. You can see us live from 6 until 7, Monday through Thursday. Then Dave Bacon takes over on Friday with his weekend winners. You're involved in that, right, D-Man?
Yes,
weekend
sir.
Winners.
Yes, sir.
You got some winners. What's your highlight game?
You don't want to know, Les.
I don't want to know?
Well, it's
going to be New England.
Patriots minus 12.5
no.
against the Browns. Sorry.
All right. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/more-sports-and-les-levine. And also, this is the voicemail of Truth and Reason. Call anytime at 216-200-6650. Leave us a message. We'll use it on a future show. All right, here we go. This is from Ken in Defiance.
All right.
For a team that can't stop making plays that result in penalties, don't you think Baker's comments will result in more calls against them? I just wish he would shut up and play. Ken in Defiance. What do you think?
There's always that risk, but you hope that the officials are professional enough not to let it affect them.
You know the rule about calling for a fair catch on a punt and then being able to kick it? Are you aware of that rule?
Yes, the drop kick, the free kick immediately
well, it's
after.
a free kick.
Or you can kick for the field goal, yes.
Yeah, there's you don't
took
have
advantage of it.
Right, you don't have the defense rushing. You just call for a fair catch, and right there you can kick it. Les, this is from Gene in North Olmsted. You mentioned a lot of football fans don't know about this rule because it doesn't apply very often. On October 13th, Carolina called for a fair catch and a field goal attempt. The kick failed. The time before it happened was ex-Brown kicker Phil Dawson in 2013 with the 49ers. He also missed. It has two advantages. It can't be blocked, and the kick is 7 yards shorter than a regular kick because there's no snap. Paul in Findlay says Bill's defense, well, he called him Billy. Billy's defense turned Darnold into everything Baker has done in his regression. Now we hope Baker can turn it around against his best ever defense. What do you think?
It's going to be a tough assignment for Bake, for sure.
Well, hopefully they can coach him up and put him in better position. Isn't that what coaches are supposed to do?
Yes.
This is from Mitch in Kent. How come, I want to know if sunglasses are made in the shade? How come if the label on the can doesn't say from Contented Cow, is that stewed beef? How come the balloon artist had a twisted sense of humor?
Oh, my gosh.
Mr. Gullible checks in.
Those are good.
How come when William Shakespeare chewed his pencils, you couldn't tell if they were to be or not to be?
That's good.
It is good. How come trees access the internet by logging in? Now, behind the curtain, I must tell you, Mr. Gullible already knows it's an old lame joke, but he still went ahead with it. I give him props. John Patrick. Ready for this?
Yes. Is this your winner?
Could be. How come we wait for a pig to die before we cure it? I'm not putting this one in my book.
Oh, my gosh. The quickies, man, I'll tell you, there's nothing like them.
Nothing like them. All right, what do you got? We got about a minute and a half. About.
Good luck to the Cavs.
Yeah, tonight? What time, 7
nice
o'clock?
little test. Yeah, I think it's 7 against Orlando. A team that returns a nice core that did make the playoffs last year, so we'll see where they measure up. Browns, as I said, I'm down on the Browns right now, but that could change in 1 week. If they beat the Patriots, then I'm going to say they're going to the Super Bowl.
All right, how about game number 2, Houston versus Washington?
Yeah, it's too early in a series to say must win, but it really feels like that for the Astros. If they lose
and then
the
go on
first
the road.
2 with Cole and Verlander at home, you wonder. But it's going to be a heck of a pitching matchup because they got to deal with Strasburg.
Well, it's been fun. The whole playoffs run has been terrific, and I just wish they would do a better job letting younger people know what the World Series is all about. I would have clips of Reggie Jackson hitting 3 home runs. I'd have clips of Gibson against Eckersley. I'd have what else? I'd have Joe Carter. I'd have all the historic moments. Yeah. I'd find some old film of Babe Ruth, whether he pointed or didn't point to the bleachers. Charlie Root of the Chicago Cubs. All right, I got it off my chest. That'll do it. Anything you want to add right now, or are you done?
No, I'm just with you about the World Series. I want it to be a great series.
Well,
that to me is paramount for baseball.
I agree. All right, that'll do it for us. Thanks to the D-Man, Dennis-Manoloff. You can hear him on WTAM 1100. And you'll see me tomorrow night. And then Friday from 10 to 2, I'll be on 92.3 The Fan in for Jeff Phelps, along with Andy Baskin. That does it for us. Of all the shows I've ever done, this was the most recent.